to prevent such an unfortunate incident. Let me start by motivating you this morning. Our motivation this morning is by Alan Saunders, who says, life is what happens to us while we are making other plans. Yes, I'm sure the 8 men that perished in that unfortunate helicopter crash were making other plans. But unfortunately, life happened to them. So this is your reminder to enjoy life, to take one step at a time, but make sure that everything that you set out to do, you are actually doing it. So that's our way of motivating you this morning. Let me help you write better English and, of course, speak better English.
Today's word is ethos. Ethos. It's a noun. Ethos means the moral ideas and attitudes that belong to a particular group, society, or person. Let's exemplify it. The opposition says harassment and intimidation are part of the incumbent's ethos. Ethos.
Okay, so that's our way of motivating you this morning and then helping you write better and speak better English. Kind Ketsi, the extra tall man. Let me pump you up. It's a beautiful Wednesday. I love Wednesdays because then I know that weekend is almost here. Let me pump you up with that video of the day. morning. Yehowa indeed Enia Bankesi. I'm sure the families of the 8 that perished in that helicopter crash will say, Yehowa Enia Bankesi. Let's head to the courts. Captain has joined me in studio. Captain, good morning to you.
Good morning, Lily.
How are you?
By His grace, I'm fine. How about you?
I'm doing awesome.
I like your energy this morning.
I know.
Yeah,
I love Wednesdays.
Yeah, I realize anytime you are meeting the ladies, you have a different energy altogether. I'm wondering whether you're a Wednesday born, but I'm not sure.
I'm not a Wednesday born.
It looks like.
I'm not a Wednesday born, interestingly. The woman that made me who I am, my old girl is a Wednesday born. My grandmother, and my director is a Wednesday born. Yeah, Kweku Baboni.
Current director.
Yes.
No wonder. But good morning.
So we've been Adam Kweku Bonsam Banini. You know that every Kweku there's some money.
Baboni.
It's Baboni. No, it's Bonsam. It's Kofi that's Baboni.
Yes,
but Kweku is Bonsam.
Kweku Bonsam. Kweku Bonsam, Michelle.
Banini Kweku Bonsam, Michelle. Anyway, hopefully today you don't become.
You're not doing Keche. Right, Keche.
Anyway, a lot happened in court.
Yes.
You seem to have had a packed day.
Today you didn't want to be in my shoes at all.
I know.
Today is going to be a very packed court day, both at the High Court and the Supreme Court. But let me tell you things that happened previously. So on your screens now is a picture of Bright Simmons, the Vice President of Imani Ghana. And the reason you have his picture on the screens is that there is an action that has been taken against him by Mr. Ibrahim Mahama and engineers and planners. He notes that in all of this in Ghana, we have laws, we have acts, we have regulations and things that we do. When you have the opportunity and you say things about people and the people are not, the person whom you have said things about is not happy, realizes that there's some injury that has been occurred to his reputation, the laws allows, or there's a remedy for that, and you go to court by way of defamation. And so Mr. Ibrahim Mahama and his company, they have sued Bright Simmons for defamation. They're seeking in excess of 10 million Ghana cedis in damages. What they are saying is that the plaintiff in the matter, the defendant in the matter, Mr. Bright Simmons, has said certain things, has written certain things about him and his company, which injured their reputation. So anybody who sits in the comfort of his home, any ordinary person who will see that post would see them as persons with certain quote unquote, they are not worthy of a sort. So that has injured their reputation. So once that is the only remedy to seek is to go to court. So that defamation case is pending before the High Court. Now, Mr. Bright Simmons and his lawyers looked at the nature of the processes and said, look, this rate will not suffice in court. So they went straight to say that, look, this is a frivolous application. The High Court should strike it out. Should not even deal with the merits of the case so that he will go away. The High Court has listened to the parties and has made a ruling. And the ruling was that request to have Mr. Ibrahim Mahama's defamation rate struck out will not work. He has to come to court, open his defense in relation to the defamation matter, then the court will examine its merits. So 7 days was given to him last week, Thursday, and so within 7 days, Bright Simmons is expected to file his defense to the defamation action, seeking remedies or seeking some claims in excess of 10 million Ghana cedis.
Okay, let's talk about the NSS, now National Service Authority. I no longer NSS.
Yes.
The ghost name scandal.
Yes, Gifty Owari. The video you have seen is not too clear, but this is yesterday at the Law Court Complex.
Okay.
He was granted bail. In fact, she was arraigned on the 22nd of October. it was yesterday that she was able to meet her bail conditions. So at this particular point in time, she signed off the bail conditions at the registry of the court, and she was leaving the premises. So as we speak, that 10 million Ghana cedis bail sum and the really subsequent sureties and the conditions have been met. You note that one of the conditions is that she should be placed on stop list. She will not travel out of the country except when the court granted that express permission for her to do so. So later on in the month, she will be back in court. But what we are reporting for now is that after 20 days in lawful custody, finally, she has been able to meet her bail conditions.
Let's look at some of the cases coming up today. National Service Authority still in the news.
So from
the deputy,
deputy to the boss himself. Osesi, as you can see on the screens, he is in court today. He will be back in court today. And the reason he's back in court today is that after the court has granted him bail on the 30th of October, that 800 million Ghana cedis bail, 6 sureties, all of them to be justified, he's not been able to meet the bail conditions. So they are looking at the amount of money involved, and the court will always grant you bail in relation to something that is closer to the amount. And the amount involved we are talking about is 1.5 billion Ghana cedis. So the court will always give you, the court will not give you a bail of 1 million Ghana cedis. That's what I know for certainty. But he is also struggling to meet his bail conditions. So he is in court.
How long has he been in custody?
So he was charged officially. His plea was taken on the 30th of October. So in effect, we say 13 days. Today is 12. So 31st to now, that will be about 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks.
Okay.
About 2 weeks now when he was he pleaded not guilty and was granted bail. So today, before Justice Marie Louise Simmons, his lawyers will come, the state attorneys will come, and they will move that application for bail variation, and we'll see what the court will do, whether the court will vary it or the court will say that that is in order. So that is one of the cases that we'll look forward to coming out today at the court. And this one, the last court sitting, Deputy Attorney General Dr. Jesremsai was present in court. So we hope that that case will come up again this morning, and then we'll see what happens.
And then the National Signals Bureau case.
Yes, Kwabena Dubuahin, Angela J. Boatin, and of course, Advantage Solution. This case trial is ongoing. Second prosecution witness is in the witness box, Ruby Adumwa, for Director of Finance, National Signals Bureau. And the last time we did tell you about the fact that one of these testimonies to the court is to the effect that, look, payment voucher that was brought, which was supposed to show that cyber defense, cyber security defense or cyber defense system was purchased.
Cyber defense system.
Absolutely. They didn't have that particular invoice in their system. And that was only brought to her attention when officials from Yoko came to their office, tried to find out whether indeed they had that. So that has been the line of testimony today before Justice Eugene Nyedunyante. The witness will be back, and the lawyers led by Samuel Atachia will continue their cross-examination of her. So that is one of the things that we also should expect from that case.
The SkyTrain case is also back today.
Yes. Professor Christopher Miyakunfi, Mr. Solomon Asamoah. So Professor Christopher
the Deputy Attorney General seems to be busy today.
Today he will be really be hot because he's involved in most of the cases that I have mentioned. LCCB, he will be in court. And one thing about him is that when he's always committed to this cause, his job as an attorney, state attorney or a deputy attorney general, he's been handling all the issues that have come up from oral and other political cases that have come up. And what we are expecting today is that the trial of Professor Christopher Miyakunfi, Solomon Asamoah have started in relation to the $2 million SkyTrain project. And we did report that the first prosecution witness in the person of Yao Odame Dalkwa, who happens to be a former board member between 2017 and 2020, he has testified per his evidence in chief that, look, at no point in time was the issue of funding for SkyTrain race. The board has never approved any fund for SkyTrain and all of that. I mean, if anything at all, it was only mentioned in the past and no consideration whatsoever has been made in relation to the Sky Train project. All that he's saying is that the board never approved that particular sum of money, for which reason Professor Christopher Mwiakumfi and Solomon Asamoah are standing accused for misappropriating that $2 million. Today we'll be in court and their lawyers will subject the witness to cross-examination before the court presided over by Justice Audrey Kokovite.
She's gradually becoming another favorite of mine.
Of all the judges that we have mentioned Justice Efia Sewa Saribuche here so many times, Justice Lydia Osema for so many times, Justice Mary Mami Kweyenzu so many times, and all of that. And all these names that I've mentioned currently, they are at the Court of Appeal. So new High Court judges are taking over and all of that. So we should expect to hear some new names and all of that. So that's Kizita Kowakwashi. Her name, she is handling the OCCB entries case and all of Marie Lewis Simmons, Ruby Aite, we have mentioned that here and all of that. So more of the names that I can. Mary Mamieko.
I like it when women rise.
And all the criminal courts are being headed by or have been presided over by women. Yes,
that's a good one. Let's talk about Chairman Wontumi. Today he's equally back in court.
Yes, so there are concerning issues. The one involving Chairman Wontumi and two others is back in court, and this what we expect is for case management conference where prosecution will then inform the court the number of witnesses they will be calling, or the document they intend to rely on in prosecuting this very case will come up in court, and then we'll know. And then, or when they are sorting out, they'll find out whether the one that the prosecution filed is the same thing that is before the court. Is it the same thing that the accused person and his lawyers also have? Then, if there's something more that they will need, they will make that request. And if especially witnesses who will come and testify, the language that they will testify, if there are some videos that ought to be played, they will have to make all these known to the court, and arrangement is made. Then when the trial takes off, then it is very expeditious. So that is what we do expect in relation to the Chairman Wontumi's case before the court today.
The deportees who were transited through Ghana, their case is also back in court.
Yeah, so I have moved from the High Court and now I'm at the Supreme Court. Yeah, so today, the issue about the U.S. deportees, the Democracy Hub has raised issues about the fact that there has been some memorandum of understanding signed between...
He was in court on Monday, wasn't he?
Yes, he was in court. So the other one in court was in relation to the deportation of illegal foreigners in illegal mining. This one is in relation to the U.S. deportees
who transited through
Absolutely. They say that government has signed an MOU.
He seems to have a lot of interest in the aspirants.
Absolutely. Government has signed an MOU with the USA about this very subject. One, they want the courts to ask the government to release their MOU. Secondly, they're asking for an injunction to injunct the Attorney General from acting on any form of the MOU that has been signed. The last court sitting, the court said, gave the AG time to file their processes, their response to the matter before the court. So today, hearing is expected to be done, and they will know what the pleasure of the Apex Court will be. So this very case about the U.S. deportees will come up at the Supreme Court this morning.
Namwan back in court.
Men's Good. I'm sure the Men's Good customers would be very keen to this very matter. So as we speak, the matter at the High Court is on hold. The matter at the High Court has stalled a bit because, one, there's this matter pending at the Supreme Court, and he is asking for a stay of proceedings. First, he came to the High Court. The High Court dismissed that. He went to the Court of Appeal. A 3-member panel of the Court of Appeal dismissed his request for stay of proceedings. Then he said, look, the reason we have the hierarchy of the court, if you go to the High Court and you meet one judge, you don't get a decision. Go to the Court of Appeal where you meet 3 judges. If you don't get a decision, you go to the Supreme Court where you meet 5 judges. So today, he is before the 5 justices of the Supreme Court for a decision as to whether the court will ask the High Court to stay proceedings for him to pursue his appeal against the court order for him to open his defense and respond to some 35 counts of charges, including defrauding by false pretense in respect of customers' funds. So this is one of the cases that we should also expect at the Supreme Court today. So like I mentioned, very packed court day, but of course, we'll try as much as possible to bring you highlights of literally all the cases that will transpire in court. So Lily, this is all we have for you by way of court today.
Okay, all right. Captain, Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm sure that today you need a cool massage after.
It is
anyway,
well.
it is
Mother
definitely
Earth
well.
is
I'll catch you on the flip side. That's Captain Mutala Inusa with Court today. Let me bring you a quick musical break. When I come back, we'll talk some sports, and then we'll talk about the findings of the committee that investigated the helicopter crash on August 6th. Sakura, how are you?
I'm all right. I'm feeling
Maoli
these days.
Sakura.
Hey, Maoli Sakura.
What's up in sports this morning?
We'll start off with the Black Stars of Ghana because they've started arriving. It's the Kirin Cup, and a lot of new boys have been called by Coach Otuado. 3 new players put together by the team, and then there is the call-up. So Kelvin also, these are the 3 boys that have been called up by Coach Otuado, debutants and attackers for the Black Stars. And this is the schedule for the Black Stars. So the Black Stars will be taking on Japan. And then, of course, Cup, they play Japan on Friday. It will be at 10 a.m. in Ghana before they take on South Korea on Tuesday. So 2 games for the Black Stars of Ghana as they prepare for the World Cup. Obviously, we've qualified for that World Cup in there. Now, the Black Princesses yesterday lost to Nigeria. Oh, Charlie, 3-0 again. They lost the first game 3-1, and then they lost yesterday's game 3-0 as well. But then it was a good campaign for them. They had 2 wins and 2 defeats. They beat Benin by 2-0 in the 2 games that they played before they lost to the Nigerian side as well. Let's head to the Swag Awards because Benjamin Asari has been nominated for the Footballer of the Year for the Swag Awards. So the Swag Awards will be happening on the 15th of November at the Accra International Conference Center. And 3 players have been nominated for the home base player. So we have Stephen Amankona and then, of course, Benjamin Asari. We also expect the president of the AIPS to be the guest of Anna. And then, of course, we also have Antoine Semenyo and then Mohammed Kudus, yes, as well as Jordan Ayew as Footballer of the Year nominees for the players based in the foreign scene. And then, of course, Club of the Year, Kumasi Asante Kotoko, Police Ladies, Faith Ladies, and Bibiani Gold Stars are the nominees for the Club of the Year. So 15th November, that would be happening. And then, of course, Kumasi Asante Kotoko would be in action today when they take on Vision FC. Don't forget that they have 3 outstanding games to play. And Coach Karim Zito has been speaking ahead of the game and expects his players not to be complacent after beating Accra Suffolk.
Approaching with the same attitude. I think will give you 3 points. Just like BT, everybody will give you 3 points. In order to chase your objectives, I think we don't have to take any match better than the other. We all go to chase for the 3 points. So the attitude is come here and then come for our 3 points. I told them.
Well, 3 points in there. And finally, the Super Volleyball Championship would be happening. Don't forget, on the 16th of November, we'll be bringing that to you live on GHOne TV. And the draw will be happening today at 2:30 p.m. right after the game. So do join us for the game at 1 p.m. At 2:30 p.m., the clubs will be in here. All the teams will be in here as we bring you the live draw of the Super Volleyball Championship, 16th of November to the 23rd. At the Boteman Sports Complex. That should be for the sports chat this morning. I'm GHOne, editor, and of course, we're outside.
Okay, you can go outside now. Sakura Mauli. Let's head inside out. Finally, we know the cause of that unfortunate August 6 helicopter crash that claimed 8 of our gallant men. And as a country, we keep saying never again. But are we going to learn lessons? Let's bring you a wrap of what was said at this particular press briefing.
After nearly 3 months of investigations into the tragic Z9 military helicopter crash at Adanse Ekro from near Obuasi, the acting defense minister, Dr. Kesela Atoforson, led the investigative committee established to prove the crash on Monday to present its findings to President Mahama at a National Security Council meeting held at the presidency. The report, which detailed the circumstances leading to the tragic crash, claiming 8 lives, including the late former defense minister, Dr. Edward Omani-Boama, and the Minister of Environment, Science and Technology, Dr. Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed, en route for an anti-illegal mining mission, also provided recommendations to avert further incidents.
The aircraft on the day was declared serviceable and duly signed off by both the engineers and the captain. The flight data report indicates that the helicopter was in good working condition. The helicopter, however, did not have some avionic safety enhancements.
But what exactly caused the crash? Captain Paul Fodio, retired, the team's lead investigator, explains.
Seconds before impact, the crew stated that they could see the high ground below. So they'd gone over it. Suddenly thereafter, the helicopter that was flying up without any change in its power or in the pitch which we use to go up and down, suddenly lost height and impacted a ridgeline at about 1370 feet above sea level. And this was about 6.5 miles from the destination, and this happened at 9:58. The investigation determined that the accident was caused by the sudden loss of altitude and lift due to downdraft. This loss of altitude without change in power or pitch altitude is consistent with downdraft associated with changing environmental conditions over high terrain.
The investigation also established that even though the pilot did not have formal weather information on the flight route, Captain Fodio, retired, stressed that the helicopter was airworthy but without additional safety enhancements.
The helicopter was airworthy, but it lacked additional safety enhancements. For instance, the terrain awareness warning system. Now, the terrain awareness warning system, for instance, is predictive. So what it does is it warns you, it gives you a better picture of the situation and puts the pilots in puts them in a position to make better judgments, to be able to see everything and be able to foretell if there are any things that could possibly create a problem.
However, in response to a critical question of why the pilot did not make an emergency landing to avert the crash, Captain Paul Fojo retired, who is also a member of the Aircraft Accident and Incident Investigation and Prevention Bureau of Ghana, said the call remains the pilot's discretion.
I would like to presume that when you say emergency landing, you mean a diversion. Because an emergency landing is when something goes wrong with the plane, because nothing ever went wrong with the plane. The decision to continue or to do an intermediate landing is the discretion of the captain. The captain was confident that he didn't need to do it. That is why he didn't do it.
Meanwhile, after weeks of technical analysis, visiting the crash site and interviews with external collaborators, the committee also made some transformative recommendations, including the modernization of the Ghana Air Force.
We have recommended that the Air Force acquire modern aircraft with terrain avoidance warning systems and modern navigation systems. That the aircraft should have cockpit voice recorders and flight data recorders, which are the audiovisual capable types. That the Air Force should invest in simulators for recurrent training. That they contract certified aviation weather provider or providers, and that Ghana as a nation should try to have en route navigational aids, especially in remote areas.
The report incorporated inputs from the Ghana Air Force, the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority, and international aviation experts. Reporting for GHOne News, Abdulhanan Adam, Accra.
Anyway, Ibrahim Alassan has joined me. Abi, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm wondering if I was a family member, this will bring me closure.
Yes, this is supposed to bring you closure, but what I assume will be going through your mind will be
it's just resurrecting,
and many questions
emotions
that you will have to ask yourself and then ask, but without answers. So, yes, per what we're told, this was weather-induced accident. So, the weather conditions in Accra were equally bad. That's how come the flight even delayed.
Delayed for an hour.
But they had access to the weather information for Accra. Unfortunately, the crew did not have weather information about their destination.
Okay.
They didn't.
Is it okay? I mean, I know you're not. You're not an expert. I'm wondering. Do we need maybe? Going forward, maybe we need to engage an expert, aviation expert, those who work in all these spaces. But do we need weather information of destination to be able to move? If we do, why didn't they wait and get it?
This is a helicopter, and yesterday, Captain Retired Paul Fojo talked about what we call area navigation, and it's just like you driving your car. You see what's ahead of you, and then you navigate. And so helicopters are not expected to fly very high altitude, right? And so they are able to see physically what's in front of them. But because of the weather conditions, right, and how misty and foggy it was, they had to fly a bit higher. And here I'm quoting the investigative report. They had to fly a bit higher
than originally a helicopter is supposed to.
Exactly. So but for the fact that the weather had compelled them to fly higher, you just see, just as you are driving, because this is a helicopter. This is not an aeroplane.
It's low flying.
Exactly. So that's one. Two, you can also tell, and I understand why, and nobody here wants to blame the dead. We won't blame the dead. whatever critiques we do is to inform we the living. So we better prepare to ensure that this never happens, right? So yes, there are recommendations that the military should be retooled. And I think this is something that even the late defense minister was pushing to happen. And I'm talking about the late Dr. Edward Omane Boama. So yes, a government should find money and do that. But to also pilots who are watching us and potential pilots, you see, when you are flying and the weather is bad, you can abort. It doesn't matter the individuals you are flying. It doesn't matter what programs they are heading for and how late they are. Because when Hanan asked that question, yes, we knew exactly what happens when weather is terrible. Some planes, Ghana bound, Kutuka bound, end up diverting to Togo.
To other countries, yes.
Because of terrible weather. It's not because of a mechanical fault. So when we talk about emergency landing, we don't necessarily always, of course, to the layman, mean that there's a mechanical fault with the aircraft. No. A week after this unfortunate incident, there was a helicopter that landed somewhere in Nkoko.
Yeah.
Because when the pilot was interviewed, he had mentioned that the weather was terrible. That was the point we're making, right? So, yes, per what he says, the captain believed that he could still navigate. But like I said, chances are it's because of the caliber of people he was flying.
Yeah.
It's because of the emergency situation at hand, because they needed to be at the program. Nobody is blaming the dead. But we're just saying that moving forward, if the weather is that terrible and you are trained to know it once you detect it, the most convenient thing to do is to abort. Let's put that aside. Also talk about the lifespan of this aircraft, supposed to be 10 years. Then we contacted the manufacturers, who then gave us 3 months extension. I think there's an outstanding question that I want the investigative team to address. What went into the extension, right? Is it that there was a general comprehensive overhauling of the aircraft, or is just extension by word of mouth? Because you cannot say, unlike the expired rice, that the FDA just said, oh, we can feed the kids with this. There's an aircraft that flies people. So it's a death and life situation. So we will need those details. And I kid myself not when I say that. It's not everything in the report that has been made public. You see, that would have been insensitive on the part of even government. So we understand. But the point we are making is that what went into that decision, that's one. Two, you talk about some enhanced avionic safety measures. Nobody can blame anybody in this country for the absence of those things, because it should come from the manufacturer. Again, the aircraft didn't have a tracker. So its movement could not have been tracked. But of course, communication is established. Yeah, so there's a difference between being able to establish communication with an aircraft and being able to track the movement of the aircraft. If we're able to track the movement of the aircraft, you can alert the pilot to things that they might not even be aware. You are moving too high, you are moving too low. The terrain you find yourself in is undulating. The terrain you find yourself in is steep. People did not pay attention to this, but the man, Captain Fojo, told us about the final words of the pilot. Say, hey, high ground. That's mountain. So we've not paid attention, but what the man told us is that they ran into a mountain. And so that explains why the community members were telling us that there was an explosion. When an aircraft runs into a mountain, we all can assume what happens. Right?
The level of impact.
Yes. So, yes, weather. And they just came to confirm what the community members had told us after the incident. That the weather was terrible, it was very foggy, it was misty, right? So basically that. Let's just, in the memory of these gallant 8, ensure that this never happens again. You know, I know we say that all the time about let's ensure that this never happens again, but this one, we owe it. And officials in charge, she will ensure that this never happens again, because we, the media, will take them on if this happens again. Because we have enough to draw from this calamity.
At this point, what more can we add? What more can we say? That it should never happen again. It's quite unfortunate. Our deepest condolences once again to the families. I know this will resurrect wounds, emotions, questions, concerns, but our prayers are still with you. It's terrible. I mean, and look at the state of handling of the crash site. You know.
Yeah.
We
Let's talk about the fact that the response time was the best, given the terrain and the site of the incident, the response time. But of course, we talk about response time if there was a possibility of ever even saving a life.
Yeah.
That possibility didn't exist, right? And we all know how difficult it is to reach the crash site. So, yes, we talked about the handling of the body. Yes, for that, we ought not to do that moving forward. Exactly. I know explanations came that body bags were no options because the bodies were charged, right? But then I remember we saying that we could have waited for the charged bodies to cool so we can transport them in dignity, right? But let's take nothing away from the young people who put shoulders to the wheel, and I'm told that some of them have been promised recruitment into the security services. Kudos to the government for that. Yes.
I mean, that was an exhibition of bravado.
Yeah.
I mean, look at them, they're very young.
Exhibition
of real bravado. It's they were brave. Exactly. I mean, for young people.
Yeah, that's brave. And of course, like I said, it's good that the state is recognizing the effort. In fact, they were awarded some time back for the role they played. But moving forward, I think, like I said, it's a lesson to all of us. And let's hope and pray this never happens again. Yes, I know, and I said this and I repeat, that Lily, if you die, you will die.
Yeah, regardless.
But do everything that is humanly possible. So we know that you exhausted all human capabilities. But then what happened had to happen. We are here talking about this because there were still things that humanly could have been done. We cannot guarantee that will have saved them, but at least we'll have ticked the boxes. And moving forward, that's what we're talking about. That as much as possible, all the safety measures must be in place. As much as possible. Let's ensure that the dignitaries that we are flying, of course, they were carrying out their duties to us. They were delivering on their duties to us as a people. The least we can do is to ensure that the equipment, the aircraft, whatever that they are using, whatever the device they are using, is safe enough for them to serve us. So, yes, let's add our voice to the calls for government to find money. We know it's difficult. Find money and then retool the military. Not just the military, the police, the immigration, the prison service, and what have you. But of course, as we speak now, as aircraft that we are talking about. And I hope, yesterday, Captain Paul Fojo did not say that, but I hope that this is not the only Z9 that we have. I hope that all the rest have been grounded.
We just hope so.
Yeah, I hope that all the rest have been grounded. Okay. Right. So we can at least be rest assured that moving forward,
persons who fly with them are safe. Anyway, let's tell you what the newspapers are reporting this morning.
Yes, so the other headlines from the Ghanaian Point: Yoko arrests former boss CEO Edwin Provincial at Kotoka Airport. We told you that he was on his way outside the country and he was arrested. I think if we're on a stop list, And this morning I was having a conversation with Emmanuel Bipo, and he was saying that the former appointees should get copies of the stop list that has been deposited at the airport, so you know exactly whether to go or not. You see.
So that when you get to the airport, they tell you, Master, sign with you.
So because you know already, you won't even go, right?
Imagine traveling with your kids.
Exactly.
And then you get to the airport and they tell your children, go.
Yeah.
Then father, go back home.
Yes.
Cynthia Ofori, go home.
Yes. You see, and you're in your engagement with the FIC boss, Kojo Chumboafo. He told you his experience, not once, not twice, and many others as well. Yeah, so that's it for the Ghanaian point. Okay.
The New Crusading Guide says, downdraft caused August 6 helicopter crash, says investigative committee. Our resolve to defend the constitution unshakable, that's according to the minority leader, Osahin Alexander Kwame Apengema King. GHOne Asantehene for exemplary leadership. NPA launches 2025 Consumer Week. Achimansa Chiefs Queens Association inaugurated. Ban on excessive funeral spending still in force. That one, dear.
That's a good one. That's a good one. The Ghanaian publisher, Apengema King, labels Chief Justice vetting disgraceful. And yesterday the speaker had to apologize to the judiciary what happened at the appointments committee sitting. 9% salary hike, insult to workers. That's according to the minority. And Jenapo questions government Barari lithium deal. Yesterday the agreement has been relayed with revised terms because lithium prices on the international market have dropped from $3,000 to a little over $600. GHA president urges media to promote peace, and Baumia outlines NPP revival plan as the Ghanaian publisher.
The Daily Guide says Yoko arrests ex-Bost CEO. Ayariga finds Apengema King after vetting showdown. SML sues OSP over equipment seizure. Hey, SML, they will never go down without a fight. That's nice. It's a good fight. Ghana Armed Forces helicopter crash. Chopper lost altitude in bad weather. That's according to the investigative report.
The Daily Searchlight this morning. Unregulated new media threatens future of journalism. That's according to Asantehene. Warning. 2026 budget statement. Give tax reliefs to local industries. That's according to FABAG. An investigative report attributes helicopter tragedy to sudden loss of altitude, and majority leader files complaint against Apengema King for contempt of parliament. Mahama honors Ghana's fallen heroes on Remembrance Day.
The New Publisher says Bagbin's words 1 year ago, judiciary executive colluding to weaken parliament. Ayariga suppressing legitimate dissent. Otumfor Lords Boko chieftaincy factions. 9% pay rise inadequate and insensitive. That's according to the minority.
The Daily Statesman this morning. Asantehene to conclude Boko peace talks. Final thing 2 slated for the end of this month and then 1st of December. And the hope is that that brings a finality to the protracted dispute. No mid-air explosion. Crashed military helicopter report reveals. And minority vetting of CJ nominee coordinated assault on judicial independence. That's it for the Daily Statesman.
The Custodian says minority rejects cruel process to replace Tokunu. Ghana's crashed helicopter lacked key safety equipment. That's according to a report. Minority cries for workers over government 9% pay rise. Kofi Dongago, appointed director of Smiley Ghana. Oh, he's a journalist.
Yes, he's a journalist. He's a friend.
Inequality and corruption erode Ghana's moral fabric. That's according to Catholic bishops.
The News Center this morning. Minority fears judicial subversion. A new Chief Justice vetting. Adverse weather, safety gaps caused helicopter tragedy. That's according to reports. And Ghana to birth tech unicorn. Through MTN support for startups, shared infrastructure to help innovators scale globally. That's according to Misto. And central banks must earn trust, not just set policy. That's according to the Central Bank Governor, Dr. Pandit Esiama. Asantehene honored by GHA for exemplary leadership.
The Daily Graphic, Galamsey degrades over 60,000 hectares of forest land. That's according to a study. Majority leader signs minority leader for contempt of parliament. August 6 helicopter incident. Poor visibility caused crash. Well, okay, so that should do for what the papers are reporting. You can grab copies on various newsstands. Alternatively, we have a lot of stories for you on starfm.com.gh, or you can equally visit Accra News online. Thank you very much, Ibrahim. Take a break here. When I return, it's Wednesday, so it's an all-female ensemble for the breakfast review. Stay tuned in.
Medicine nananom say me na ma humi a yenya emergency bi ma ha esoro ho yakone yeba etimi ne MC fo ni bi ne commanders ni bi ye betu na yakwa the handle say emergency ni kakra ministers aka wa akire no mbehwe na adwumadie ne dia aka ni nyina na ma hwe no ma hwehwe e dia ma ye me ye sure say betumi awie emergency problem no ne asaba aba be kam ho ansa na mapo ba ma hu ye na say awie na me ne MCs ni bi kwa na nya ne mo ho sem na adwuma bi na aba sensie wo se yekotu ho na mo me de besia na madam nyina ma se nyakopon hira no.
We pause to remember 8 national heroes who lost their lives about 1 week ago while en route to Obuasi to attend the Responsible Cooperative Mining and Skills Development Initiative. The tragic incident claimed the lives of Defense Minister Dr. Edward Omane-Boamah, Environment Minister Dr. Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed, and 6 others in the Adanse Akrofrom district of the Ashanti region.
I have the unpleasant duty, sadly, to announce a national tragedy involving the crash of a military helicopter this morning.
A 3-day period of national mourning was declared. The president suspended all official activities and ordered flags to be flown at half-masts.
Government extends our condolences and sympathies to the families of our comrades and the servicemen who died in service to the country. All flags are to fly at half-mast until further notice.
Describing the crash as a national tragedy, he instructed military personnel to recover the remains with utmost care and dignity. In the days following the crash, several ministers visited the bereaved families to offer support and condolences. In line with tradition of Islam, the 2 Muslims, Dr. Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed and Dr. Muniru Mohammed Limuna, were laid to rest at the 37 Military Cemetery on August 9, 2025. The remaining 6, that is Defense Minister Dr. Edward Omane-Boamah, NDC Vice Chairman Dr. Samuel Sapong, former parliamentary candidate Samuel Abuaje, Squadron Leader Peter Bafemi Anala, Flying Officer Chum Ampedu, and Sergeant Ernest Ado Mensah are scheduled for burial on August 15, 2025.
After nearly 3 months of investigations into the tragic Z9 military helicopter crash at Adanse Akrofrom near Obuasi, the acting defense minister, Dr. Kesela Atoforson, led the investigative committee established to prove the crash on Monday to present its findings to President Mahama at a National Security Council meeting held at the presidency. The report, which detailed the circumstances leading to the tragic crash, claiming 8 lives, including the late former defense minister, Dr. Edward Omane-Boamah, and the Minister of Environment, Science and Technology, Dr. Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed, en route for an anti-illegal mining mission, also provided recommendations to avert further incidents.
The aircraft on the day was declared serviceable and duly signed off by both the engineers and the captain. The flight data report indicates that the helicopter was in good working condition. The helicopter, however, did not have some avionic safety enhancements.
But what exactly caused the crash Captain Paul Fodio retired, the team's lead investigator explains.
Seconds before impact, the crew stated that they could see the high ground below, so they'd gone over it. Suddenly thereafter, the helicopter that was flying up without any change in its power or in the pitch which we use to go up and down, suddenly lost height and impacted a ridgeline at about 1370 feet above sea level. And this was about 6.5 miles from the destination, and this happened at 9:58. The investigation determined that the accident was caused by the sudden loss of altitude and lift due to downdraft. This loss of altitude without change in power or pitch altitude is consistent with downdraft associated with changing environmental conditions over high terrain.
The investigation also established that even though the pilot did not have formal weather information on the flight route, Captain Fodio retired stressed that the helicopter was airworthy but without additional safety enhancements.
The helicopter was airworthy, but it lacked additional safety enhancements. For instance, the terrain awareness warning system. Now, the terrain awareness warning system, for instance, is predictive. So what it does is it tells you, warns you, it gives you a better picture of the situation and puts the pilots in puts them in a position to make better judgments, to be able to see everything and be able to foretell if there are any things that could possibly create a problem.
However, in response to a critical question of why the pilot did not make an emergency landing to avert the crash, Captain Paul Fodio retired, who is also a member of the Aircraft Accident and Incident Investigation and Prevention Bureau of Ghana, said the call remains the pilot's discretion.
I would like to presume that when you say emergency landing, you mean a diversion, because an emergency landing is when something goes wrong with the plane, because nothing ever went wrong with the plane. The decision to continue or to do an intermediate landing is the discretion of the captain. The captain was confident that he didn't need to do it. That is why he didn't do it.
Meanwhile, after weeks of technical analysis, visiting the crash site and interviews with external collaborators, the committee also made some transformative recommendations, including the modernization of the Ghana Air Force.
We have recommended that the Air Force acquire modern aircraft with terrain avoidance warning systems and modern navigation systems. That the aircraft should have cockpit voice recorders and flight data recorders, which are the audiovisual capable types. That the Air Force should invest in simulators for recurrent training. That they contract certified aviation weather provider or providers, and that Ghana as a nation should try to have en route navigational aids, especially in remote areas.
The report incorporated inputs from the Ghana Air Force, the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority, and international aviation experts. Reporting for GHOne News, Abdulhanan Adam, Accra.
It's not time for the breakfast review. On the breakfast review this morning, the ladies have joined me. It's the norm on Wednesdays, and this morning I've been joined by Edna Abri-Esquire. She is a private legal practitioner. She's the Whole West Constituency Women's Organizer for the NDC and also a member of the NDC Communications team. Joyce Osua-Berfi Esquire is also a private legal practitioner and a member of the NPP Communications team. Good morning, ladies. How are we doing?
Good morning, Lily. I'm doing very great by the grace of God.
It's good to have you. Edna, you're welcome. This is our first time meeting.
Yeah, this is our first time meeting, and I'm very happy to be here. Happy to see you. Happy to meet you in person as well.
I know. Unfortunately, we're not starting on a good note. After watching the investigative report being put out by Captain Retired Fojo after the unfortunate August 6 helicopter crash. Now, we know that the crash was as a result of downdraft, as a result of poor weather conditions. I don't know if this will bring finality to the issue. This will bring closure to the families. At this point, I do not want to be in the shoes. I can only imagine, but I cannot tell how the families are going through or how they are taking this. Let me start with you, Edna. I mean, these are members of the NDC. I'm sure you work closely with a lot of them, even during the 2024 elections. As a party, do you have closure now?
I want to say a very good morning to our cherished viewers and listeners as well. And to send our heartfelt condolences to the families of our fallen heroes. In fact, yesterday brought to memory what really happened on that fateful day, which threw the whole country into sadness, which I think we may never come over it, because it's an incident we never wish it happens again. The NDC as a political party, we have lost gallant heroes who have played key role in the party on one front or the other. And I don't think we will ever come over it as a political party. We continue to mourn them, but we work to make the legacies that they have left behind live on. So coming to think of the reports being released yesterday, I can't say it will bring finality to everything, but at least the ifs and buts that we have as a political party, even as a country, because the blow came to us as a nation, all the ifs and buts that we have, it would have been reduced, it has been reduced to the minimum. To say the least. Though this report will in no way bring back to life our fallen heroes, but at least would have been a bit settled in our mind about what really caused the death. It was tragic, it was unfortunate, and hearing from the reports that was given yesterday, as an individual, I think we could have prevented it. But listening to the producer on the show this morning, he said something that struck me. He said, I'm quoting his words, if you will die, you will die. Regardless of whatever precautionary measures that you have taken. If the giver of life says your time is up, you definitely leave. However, nobody wished to die in such a horrific manner in which these heroes have fallen. I think we'll be going into the details of the reports and the recommendations that the report has brought out. And so we may never come over it as a political party, as a nation. And we earnestly pray that this incident never happens again. And the recommendations that are given, government work on it to the latter. A helicopter that is 10 years old, for crying out loud, every product has an expiry date. The manufacturer knew that this is the lifespan of the helicopter, 10 years lifespan. From the report, we heard that they asked for a 9 months, is it 9 months? Yeah, 90 days extension. They asked for 90 days extension. It's just like a woman who is pregnant. We know after 9 months, every woman that is heavily pregnant must give birth. 9 months it's due. The doctor is saying that hold on for another 9 days. For whatever reason. It is a very unfortunate situation that has happened, that has claimed these lives. We look forward that government carries on to the latter all the recommendations that has been given. We don't want to experience this as a family again, as a country again. If we come around the table for this discussion, we want to be talking about measures that government has taken as a result of the report that has been given, as a result of the recommendations that have been given, measures that government has taken to, prevent recurrence of this situation. Once again, our deepest condolences to the families. I mean, this story coming up again will open up wounds for these families again. And I know how they are feeling right now. We can only say that our deepest condolences, and may the Lord continue to console them. Even as we remember them, let's not forget them, the families in our in our prayers. Let us not forget to, extend care and support to them in whatever way that we can. I realized just after the burial services, donations were sent to them, but money doesn't do it all. Money is not everything. They still need that moral and emotional support from all of us. So our deepest condolences to them again.
Okay. All right. Joyce, good morning once again.
Good morning, Lily, and then good morning, everyone. Good morning to our cherished viewers this morning. This morning, I'm deeply saddened. You know, this whole thing has reminded all Ghanaians of what really happened and the pains and the sorrows that came along with it. Yeah. It is really, really unfortunate. And I would want to commiserate once again with the bereaved families. It is not easy losing a husband, a brother, a father, and a son. They were all men, and it is so painful. Let me just move on to address the issue. I would also want to add that the MPP has been vindicated in a way, because when this incident happened, we heard a lot of commentaries, that some members of the MPP have gone to pour acid, a whole lot, that some even said that the MPP had gone to shoot the helicopter. It was so unfortunate, but I would want to put this on record, that when it comes to matters of humanity, matters of life, as I sit here, I am a human being. Lily, you are a human being. My colleague here is a human being. So when it comes to matters of life, I would want to plead that we should exercise constraint on some of our comments and then see ourselves first as human beings before any extension to party colors. It is very unfortunate. It was the whole Ghana, and if not to exaggerate, the whole world were all saddened by such an incident. The very day that I heard it, I couldn't even eat. It was so painful. I didn't look at it from the point of view that they are NDC members, so they should die. Why would I do that? So then, why would a communicator, why would a member of the NDC attribute such a horrific incident to the MPP? I wouldn't want to thank God because the whole incident wasn't uncalled for. It was so unfortunate. But I would want to say that the MPP has indeed been vindicated. And going forward, as my sister said, I wonder if even the current helicopters are being serviced properly. I don't know whether the necessary finances are released for the maintenance of this remaining helicopter. Yeah. Yes. So going forward as a country, we should value human lives. We should value life and then try to prevent some incidences that can always be prevented. My sister said that if it is your time to die, you will definitely die. No, that is not the case. At times, it wouldn't be your time to die, but certain negligence, circumstances can bring about your untimely death. Why would a helicopter crash just like that? Then probably there was something wrong with it that we, as a whole nation, didn't pay attention to.
But you know, Captain Retired Fojo mentioned something yesterday. He said, even though there were some avionics, the words were quite, technical, that were supposed to be in place, it doesn't necessarily mean that it was the cause of this particular crash, because at the time of the crash, it was due to downdraft, which means it was due to the terrible weather condition.
Fine. He is an expert. So he's entitled to say whatever thing that he wants. But I also hold a view that regardless of the weather or whatever, if a helicopter must be maintained, it ought to be maintained. If it ought to be serviced, it ought to be served. And the necessary finances, I wonder if the necessary finances are even released for same to happen. I wonder. We should take human life seriously. That is it. You know, this morning has really remembered all Ghanaians of this so-called unfortunate incident. And then we have to, as a nation, come together and then ensure that such occurrences doesn't happen. Because it is unfortunate. You can't just play with human lives. They are human beings. Every Ghanaian is a human being. You just can't play with human lives. So I will plead with the government. I also put in a word, in addition to what my sister said, that the government should do everything possible. If he has to release funds for servicing, for maintenance, if they even have to replace the helicopters, they should, so that at least we can safeguard lives.
And the replacement of helicopter and maintenance and servicing of equipment, will the NPP agree that probably we need a new presidential jet?
Lily, I know why you are asking this. I know the genesis of this whole thing.
I'm sure you do.
As I sit here, I will agree. And I know that, you know that the MPP is a compassionate political party. The MPP think about
Are you saying others don't? Others are not compassionate?
Please, I'm talking about, you asked me a question.
Okay. So
concerning my political party, which is the MPP. And I'm trying to tell Ghanaians what the MPP is made up of.
Sure.
It is compassionate. We are a compassionate political party who puts human lives first before any party colors. We are all human beings before any extensions to party colors.
True.
And that is what the MPP considers priority. You know, when it was Anado's time, there was this issue about the Falcon, whatever, that it needs a replacement, whatever. And a whole a minority member of Parliament said, gave a whole lot of narration. I don't know, it was just a propaganda to downplay this critical issue that needed urgent attention. Right now, Lily, if they had agreed for the MPP to purchase a helicopter or a plane, back then, will the MPP be enjoying this? Will it be the MPP to be enjoying now as a city?
No.
Wouldn't it be the NDC? Wouldn't it have been in their interest? So, you know, I'll just revisit what I said earlier, that when it comes to human life, we should come together as a nation and address it. Probably they thought the plane would rather crash members of the MPP. But you know, I wouldn't want to extend to say that karma has visited or anything. No, I wouldn't want to say that.
I don't even think it is right to even say it, to even think it. I mean, these are human lives that anybody would think that karma. I mean,
anybody would think that karma, but you know, as I said, we the MPP, we are very compassionate. And we just don't want to draw conclusions when it comes to matters of life and humanity. You know, if they know now that if they had encouraged the MPP to buy the plane, they would have been enjoying. And probably this incident wouldn't have occurred. But because of propaganda, because of the intention to always win political points, they consider political points above human life. That is how I see it. Okay. So then, why would you downplay an issue of a replacement of a helicopter? Why would you downplay such an issue? It is so unfortunate, but it has happened. Okay. You know, the day that the incident happened, it wasn't only the NDC members who wept. And some MPP members, including myself, wept bitterly. Me, I couldn't even eat, especially when I saw the video. You know, I couldn't even look at it for a second time. So now, I sit here as a compassionate MP member, and I sit here in the interest and in the name of my compassionate political party, which is the MPP, to tell the NDC that they protested whilst they were minority. But now, because of life and humanity, they can go ahead and purchase.
Okay.
They can go ahead and purchase.
Edna, the NPP says, well, you did a lot of propaganda with the purchasing of the presidential jet, but they are a compassionate party, so they will support that call for the purchase of a new presidential jet.
Before I even come to the purchase of a presidential jet, I would that this conversation around these our fallen heroes never even has the trace of politics in it. True. Not at all. I see my sister struggling so hard to avoid that terrain, but she's so buried in it that, I mean, she is struggling so hard to come out of it, not to even come to think of the fact that you want to say, you are avoiding to say that it is Kama that has revisited the NDC. Come on, that is way below the belt.
No, she says she doesn't want to say.
She doesn't want to. So out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks.
No, I don't want to go there. You know, you asked me that even Ghanaians will think that Kama has visited the NDC.
I didn't.
Yeah, after I said that, you came in that even some people or Ghanaians will think that Kama has visited the NDC.
No, I said it is.
Why will you sit here and even think for Ghanaians?
For anybody to.
It says that I wouldn't want to go there.
Okay.
Please address what I insist. Address what I affirmed, not what I.
So an average Ghanaian today here knows which among these two political parties is more compassionate than the others. I don't want to go to that lane. Now, come think of the guy for a your background, regardless of your political affiliation, regardless of your social or economic status, deserve to die in that way, not in even any barbaric way of that sort. And so if an incident of this sort has happened, why don't we revisit the source of the incident? The helicopters that are state-owned helicopters that are there, Why don't we go back and service them? Why do we want to shift the conversation to going to get a presidential jet? I don't think we are in position for that now. What we already have, why don't we protect it? Why don't we put it in a good condition to be used by all who availed themselves to serve this country? The NDC is not a myopic party. We don't think of ourselves. We think of everybody. And so whatever the party is doing, we do it in the interest of the public. So if we already have helicopters, whether they are overaged, whether they need to be servicing, recommendations have come. Let's go back to the drawing table. Let's work on the recommendations that has been given and get the Air Force back on its feet again. If we go and purchase a private jet, what happens to those we already have? Are we not causing financial loss to the states?
So you don't support a call for the purchase of a new presidential jet?
Even if we will, I don't think we are in position to do that now.
Okay.
I don't think we have the financial muscle to do that now. And that, that decision will be a preserve for those in authority. Yeah.
Okay. Let's touch on the vetting of the CJ nominee, because he's not being approved yet by Parliament. Justice Paul Bafuboni, he was vetted by Parliament on a Monday, and of course, it appears this has become very synonymous with vetting. It came with its own attendant, for want of a better expression, drama. The minority staged a walkout yesterday at the chamber. The majority leader addressed this. He mentioned this, and the speaker himself equally addressed that he apologized to the judiciary for what transpired at the vetting of CJ nominee Paul Bafuboni. Let's hear the speaker briefly, and then my guest will comment on this.
Certain comments and conduct of some honorable members during the said proceedings, which may have appeared discourteous or disrespectful to the distinguished members of the judiciary in attendance. Such conduct, though not representative of the collective will of Parliament, is regrettable and inconsistent with the decorum expected of members under the standing orders of the Parliament of Ghana. Order 123, Rule 3, cautions members against imputing improper motives or using words that are disrespectful or likely to cause offense. As Speaker, I wish to reaffirm Parliament's unwavering respect for the judiciary as a co-equal arm of government under Article 125, Clause 1 of the 1992 Constitution, which vests the judiciary power of Ghana in the judiciary. The doctrine of separation of powers requires that all three arms of government relate to one another with mutual respect and restraint. On your behalf, I extend our deepest apologies and assurances of Parliament's continued respect for the judiciary and its esteemed members.
Speaker Alban Sumana Keswat Bagbin there, extending his apologies to the judiciary for what transpired at the vetting. Joyce, as a member of the NPP and by extension the minority, does it sit with you that the speaker apologized? I mean, after you, unfortunately, your members staged a walkout on that vetting.
I think that the speaker didn't apologize on behalf of the minority.
He apologized on behalf of Parliament. And
yes.
Members of the minority are part of members of Parliament.
Yes. but I didn't see anything that the minority did that warranted an apology. So if he went ahead to apologize, then it was on behalf of the majority, especially the majority leader and the chairman himself, the chairman of the vetting committee, and then the majority leader of the NDC for their unnecessary interjections, interruptions in a quest just to halt the minority out of the vetting room. So if he did apologize, then I think it was on the basis of what the majority did at the vetting. It was their conduct.
Okay.
Because it wasn't respectful for one person to be interjecting, interrupting. How would I even put it? A smooth process. You know, we have two sides in Parliament.
True.
The majority side and the minority side. And then we should bear in mind, the only thing that the minority can do is to talk. But the majority would always have their way in Parliament. Yeah. And it is part of parliamentary practices that the heads, both head of, as in the head of the majority, head of minority, can give a comment proud to commencing any proceedings. And the minority thought it fit. You know, you can't, as I sit here, Lily, you can't tell me what I'm supposed to say.
Yes.
They felt that they had an issue and thought it fit to mention same in their commentary. And you, the majority, sitting there trying to impose, tell them what they are supposed to say. This is not done anywhere. Lily, this is not done anywhere. You know, it was, the whole process was just to humiliate the minority. I think it was tactically planned that the majority will not let the minority be part of the vetting process. The only thing that the minority said, which is even in order, that the CJ nominee is a disputed nominee. And is it false? It is not false. Because this matter has a genesis. I sat here the last time, Lily, and made you read the so-called policy on which the former Chief Justice has been removed. And all reasoning Ghanaians realize that, no, this isn't in order. The CJ, knowing that she has been unfairly treated, has instituted suits in the ECOWAS courts, in the Supreme Courts in Ghana, in the High Courts, which are yet to be heard. And I don't understand the rush of the majority. These matters are yet to be heard in the law courts. And then you rush with your nomination, and then you also push for the same nominee to be vetted by Parliament.
Your leader in Parliament mentioned that in his preliminary statement that Justice Paul Bafuboni's nomination is a disputed one. In his words, he says a disputed nominee. Do you agree?
Absolutely.
On what grounds do you agree?
I agree because matters have not settled on the former CJ's case. There are still pending lawsuits which must be addressed before we can move on to if that is even when her removal was proper, before we can move on to even nominate and move on to vetting.
Okay.
So I feel that matters are there that need urgent attention. Why are we rushing? Isn't he still paneling judges for cases? The injunction application or whatever, I wouldn't want to go into it. Didn't he empanel immediately? So even in a position as an acting Chief Justice, he's working. He's empaneling. He's working. So why the rush? Why can't we wait as a nation? This woman, Justice Tokonu, has already been treated unfairly. So should we continue to muddle in the mud? Can't we just give her a chance? Why are we rushing as a country? Can't he perform his duties as an acting CJ? What is hindering him? You know that the whole process is clouded in politics.
Okay.
Interesting conversation here. Yeah. So about the Speaker of Parliament apologizing. From afar and admire his style of living. Parliament. And I think the step he has taken to apologize to the judiciary is a very right step in the right direction. Because what happened at the vetting committee that day was not a thing for those of us that are still learning the law, that are still learning parliamentary proceedings, that still want to follow what is happening in Parliament, want to learn from at all. We all know that most times our veterans are always, murdered in such situations. The last time it was the destruction of, equipment that they were using at the vetting ground, which was so disgraceful. The way the international community will look at us, the way other African countries look up to Ghana, they admire our democracy so much. For us to be reducing ourselves into such, situations, it leaves the best to be said about us. It doesn't speak well about us. And so the Speaker took the right step by apologizing to the judiciary. My sister here is a lawyer like myself. She knows the role of separation in power, or a separation of powers. These three arms of government are there to uphold the Constitution. Without them, there is no country. And so if these three institutions are reduced to nothing, the judiciary can stand up at any time and say whatever it likes to the legislature. Legislature can stand up at any time and say whatever it likes to the executive. Do we think we will have a governable country? Would the rule of law be in place? Will it be working? No. This is what the Speaker seeks to prevent. And so he quickly runs to apologize as leader of Parliament. If my sister sits here to say that what the Speaker did was an apology on behalf of the ADC, are you taking the MPP out of Parliament? Is the Speaker not, a mouthpiece for all of them? Insult. for the nominee to the extent that he referred to him as a disputed nominee. My sister, Google the meaning of a disputed nominee right now. Let's see what that means.
Go ahead. I'll just.
When I checked, they said that it is a person who there is an allegation around, or he has a misconduct that it is alleged of, or there is a conflict of interest, a potential conflict of interest around the person's nomination. Another one says that there is concern about competence. It means the competence of that nominee, there is a big question mark on it. And lastly, that person has a questionable past action. All these things that I have said, my sister, is there any formal complaint? Was there any formal complaint before the committee about all these things leveled against the nominee? No. This issue came out on the floor of Parliament, and discussions were made on it. The minority leader made his stance known that the MPP is not going to validate the nomination of the Chief Justice. And we know, so their walking out was something we knew will happen. Something Ghanaians knew they were very good at, and they would do it. But I want to state categorically that the minority, those involved in this kind of attitude, they are disappointing their constituents. Your constituents elected you to go to Parliament, to be present and watch everything, criticize, correct, comment, everything that goes on in Parliament. But they have put their own, their selves, their own thinking, their own ways of doing things ahead of the interests of their constituents. Now, if there is any question, they even had to ask, the minority had to ask the Chief Justice nominee. If there was any question relevant for them to ask there that day, they're walking out. They have denied their constituents that opportunity to seek answers to those questions. Justice Tokono, I am a woman. I feel whatever she is going through. That is why the arms of justice are opened for her. She has the opportunity to seek redress in any forum that she wants to. Article 146 has set out the procedure for the removal of a Chief Justice and other Supreme Court justices. Was that not fulfilled? Was there in any way that provision of the 1992 Constitution was breached? No. So if there are matters arising out of the disqualification of the former Chief Justice before courts, I don't think myself and my sister, we even have the capacity to even delve into that before we are even cited for contempt. We don't have the capacity to delve into that. Does that mean that because there is an issue pending before courts, the wheels of justice should come to a halt until there is a final judgment or a final determination to those cases before courts? If my sister has admitted that the Chief Justice, the now Chief Justice nominee, was already performing the duties of a Chief Justice, so why don't we validate him? Why don't we make it formal now for him to go ahead with his work? The MPP at every time is just trying to pull the leg of government, throw dust into the eyes of Ghanaians to make it look as if nothing is working in this country. But the average Ghanaian knows that there is a different wind, a different wave blowing in Ghana. And the reset they voted for is taking effect. So let's not belittle conversation about whether we will approve of this person, we will not approve of this person. It is needless. Let's talk about development. Let's talk about what our people want. Let's talk about the roads that are springing up, the new road projects that are springing up. Let's talk about the market values that are changing lives of women and children and people all around. This back and forth, we are staging a coup in parliament, we are walking out, it doesn't add up here and there. I beg of them, we should leave to the name honorable that has been added to the names of our parliamentarians. We cherish them, we voted for them to go there. They should do the honorable thing. Honorable Speaker of Parliament did the right thing. As a matured leader, he has done the right thing, and we salute him for that.
Okay.
May I respond?
Yes. Just a minute so we can touch on your expectations ahead of budget presentation tomorrow. Okay.
Okay, Lily. I would also sit here and commend the brevity of the minority in Parliament. I like the disposition of Honorable Afenyo Markins, the way he articulated everything without insults, but very firm and then hitting directly on the nail. You know, they are the mighty minority, and it was exhibited that very day at the veteran.
So before, sorry to cut you. If they are the mighty minority, why then didn't they stay? So at least they could have asked.
I'm coming there.
Okay, please go ahead.
Lily, there is a foundation to everything.
Okay, sure.
There is a foundation and a genesis to everything. This nominee doesn't just drop from the sky overnight. It came up as a result of a removal of a certain decent Chief Justice. So then all that the minority thought to do was to lay a foundation in their commentary before proceeding to the vetting proper. And there were so many interjections. And my sister also spoke about prejudicial. There is a former chief justice who have been treated so unfairly and who has instituted suits in courts, not one court. She's instituted suits in courts. None of these suits have been determined. And I don't know whether maybe the NDC and the nominee have already determined the suits. That is why they have the effrontery to vet the nominee. Because I thought that as a nation, if we really, really want to ensure separation of powers and the independence of the judiciary, we should have settled every dust on the matter with regards to the former Chief Justice. Before even dominating and then an onward proposal of vetting. But because they have prejudiced the case already, the suits, the instant suits by the CJ, former CJ, is going nowhere. That's why they have the effrontery to nominate first, then to go ahead with the vetting. So if there is any instance of prejudicial, if there is any contempt, then it should be meted out in Parliament. Of the position of the CJ has been properly declared vacant. I don't know, because I feel that if all the pending suits...
In your estimation of properly, what do you mean? Because you're a lawyer.
Lily,
you're both lawyers. The Constitution has laid down procedures and rules. Were these rules not adhered to the latter?
Lily, my senior, my colleague here mentioned that the former CJ has the right to go to every forum
but does the law
for her grievances to be addressed. Lily, please let me answer your question first.
Okay.
And she feels that the committee violated her human rights. And the whole process, the whole proceedings wasn't fair. And for that matter has instituted a suit in the ECOWAS court, in the Supreme Court here in Ghana, and the High Court, trying to have all these grievances addressed. And as a nation, instead of us waiting, if truly we are interested in ensuring the independence of the judiciary, I know that, and I think that, or I know, or I can suggest that, or I can assume that the nominee didn't push for his nomination and for his vetting. It was the executive and the majority who did same. So then, why do I think that they are trying to extend some favors? Was he, as in, was a nominee pushing them that they should vet me, make me substantive? I don't think anything of such happened.
But does the
so
law
then why are they trying
the nomination of anybody to a position when the position as it stands in the legal realm has been declared vacant?
In the legal realm has been declared vacant. She sat here and said that the former Chief CJ could go to any forum for redress.
You address her as former? Because she's been removed.
She's been removed, but the matter is still in court.
Okay.
Yet to be determined.
Okay.
Because, matters of human rights goes to the roots of every matter. Matters of human rights.
I mean, I'm not a lawyer. I need a bit of education here.
So
does the law bar the nomination of anybody? Especially the Chief Justice upon
does the law bar the nomination? It doesn't bar. But it doesn't bar. But since the dust have not settled on the removal, then I don't see why they should declare that position vacant for a refill. He could have remained an acting AG because he's an acting CJ because he's still empaneling doing his work as an acting CJ. So my problem is why the haste? Why the rush to make him substantive? Is it because he's soon to go on retirement and that he has to retire on certain benefits?
You are impugning.
I don't know. I don't know. This is a rhetorical question. Okay. I'm not stating it as a fact. I'm just thinking wild and loud, Lily. You know this. I think that the independence of the judiciary is important and necessary for every country to develop. Yeah. So then, we all can assume that it is not, or it wasn't the nominee who went pushing for his vetting and his confirmation. So then, why would the executive rush, knowing that there are still pending suits regarding the office and the procedure that's removed the Chief Justice? Yes. Why would they rush? Why the rush? Okay. So I feel that the whole thing is politically motivated, and it is a quest of the NDC.
So if it is politically motivated, is the NPP fighting for one of their own then?
Fighting for one of their own?
That's why I'm asking. Is she a member of is she a sympathizer of the NPP?
She is not a sympathizer of the NPP, and the NPP is not fighting for one of their own. The NPP is fighting for the independence of the judiciary. The NPP is fighting for the independence of the judiciary, because without the judiciary independence, we have no states. We have no states. So the NPP is fighting for the independence of the judiciary, so that if truly this judiciary is independent, then we should exercise constraints on certain actions and try to make it properly independent. Because right now, there are pending suits surrounding the whole position. And you go ahead as an executive to nominate and then vet. What are you trying to tell Ghanaians? Okay. Then where lies the independence of the judiciary?
Okay, let me hear her.
Herself keeps repeating herself. but we all know the law. Let's not pretend. We all know the law. The 1992 Constitution, as we have it, is the supreme law of the land. Out of that streams every other law. And so, a prescription by the 1992 Constitution, which has been followed to the latter. And you think that, I mean, I can't just put my mind around it, that you think that because an individual is not comfortable or is not okay with the provision in Article 146 being followed to the latter, the wheels of justice must come to a halt. You know, even in criminal justice, when an accused person is pronounced guilty by a court of competent jurisdiction, that person is sentenced and incarcerated. However, the door of appeal does not shut to that an individual. That doesn't mean that justice has not been served. To some extent, justice has been served. The opportunity is there for that individual to go as far as on appeal until a final decision by the Supreme Court has been reached, and you know that you have now reached your limits. There is nowhere you can go again. And so this is where we have gotten to. I said, and I'll repeat it, if the former Chief Justice, you even refer to her as formal, if you think she was still entrenched in that, and you have accepted it.
No.
And you have accepted it.
I haven't
so
accepted
let's continue.
I mentioned that you addressed her as formal.
Yes,
You
and
did.
then
You
I
did
explained.
address her as formal.
I explained.
Okay.
Didn't I explain, Lily? I
And so
explained.
if petitions are before so many forums and you think for that matter, I mean, Ghana must come to a halt until those her grievances, the former Chief Justice's grievances are settled. I mean, I think you are not being fair. You are not being fair to the system. Let's not belittle this point. And come to think of the fact that apart from that side, Honorable Apenyumakin's statement during the vetting, you think that he was not doing the bidding of the MPP, which we all know that. I mean, the indication is already that everybody can see which side whoever belonged to. And so if you come to sit here and pretend that he is not doing bidding for any person, fine. Okay. The average Ghanaian knows what is going on. Let's not throw dust into the system. Okay. Let the rule of law work. Let the system work. If the applaud is too loud, it means that it is time for you to leave the stage. Honorable Apenyumakins is just acting like you have danced. We have enjoyed your dance. We said that it is time for another person to come to the stage. They have asked you out of the stage, and you are standing at the back shouting, "It's like with my one last dance. Allow me to come to the stage and dance." The audience are saying the stage is off for you. Another person has taken over the stage. Let that person also dance his or her dance. Let's see how it will go.
Okay. All right, ladies, thank you very much. That's Joyce also.
I wanted to respond briefly.
Unfortunately, I'm out of time. It's 9. Joyce also Square is a private legal practitioner and a member of the NPP communications team. Edna Abuya Square. Oh, okay. The NPP legal retreat, right. Edna Abuya Square is also a private legal practitioner and then the Whole West Constituency Women's Organizer for the NDC. My name is Lily Mohammed. I take a break here. When I return, we head to Health Alert. We talk about diabetes. Anybody, like maybe malaria and all other conditions, is this something that anybody can readily take notice of that? Oh, I think I have diabetes. Oh, I think I have this signs. So it probably could mean diabetes.
Well,
and what is diabetes? Is it high sugar, low sugar?
Yeah.
What is diabetes?
Actually, diabetes is not high sugar or low sugar. It's about what we call metabolic syndrome. It's a big name. All that it means is that, for example, if you eat, the food is broken down, and that's what we call metabolism, to give you what? Energy. And energy is derived from mainly glucose. Mainly, I'm saying mainly. So you take a big meal, fufu or banku, that is a big calorie you've given to your body. How does your body use it? If your body is not able to use it effectively, then it leaves sugar, which is the end product, in your system, in your blood, and the blood circulates everywhere. And because of the high sugar, it is too much for the body. So it tends to affect you metabolically. So that is why it makes you become thirsty all the time, sweaty. Sometimes it can bring confusion in your mind. And
brain
also,
fog.
yes, you urinate frequently too. Just because the body is not able to cope with the high amount of sugar that is left in the system, that your body is not able to take it up and use for energy. So you see that you'll be losing a lot of energy. And that is where we call it, this is dangerous. And you can only determine that if you do a blood test. Normally fasting blood sugar. Then we say, you're supposed to be 5.9 as maximum. But now you are around 8 point something. Hey, careful. You are heading towards becoming a diabetic. So that is all diabetes is all about.
But why is it touted as silent killer?
A silent killer because it behaves like other silent killers we know, like hypertension.
Okay.
So a lot of people have developed hypertension because they are diabetic and they wouldn't know. So sometimes it's the hypertension that is discovered first. Then later they realize that that person have diabetes. Because it's like a group of diseases. When you have hypertension, you are bound to have diabetes. But it's not all hypertensives who are diabetic.
Okay.
So it's diabetics who gives a lot of problems that we want to talk about today.
Very often we realize that a lot of people don't even know that they have it. Why?
Yeah, you wouldn't if you are able to cope with it. Now, let me say that we have two types of diabetes. That is the type A and type B. And the type B is normally what we talk about because it's like your body is not able to make use of insulin. Insulin is one of the things that is secreted in your body to control the sugar. Now, if your body is not able to release insulin, or your body is becoming insulin, cannot tolerate insulin up. Therefore, it will affect the sugar level. Then also there is what we call glucose intolerance. Any little sugar in your body cannot tolerate it. So you are predisposed to get diabetes. And the reason why many people don't recognize it early is that they take it for granted. Oh, today I'm feeling thirsty. You go and drink water. Then within some few 30 minutes, 1 hour, you're feeling thirsty again. Go and drink water. Because our climate is hot. Many people think, because
we attribute it to,
Meanwhile, the symptoms is giving you this. And so you don't need to rely on only that one as the symptoms. How often do you go to the loo? And many people might think because I'm drinking plenty water.
That is the result of it.
And sometimes you may not even drink not water, but you still be going to the loo. At odd hours. For example, especially in the night. If you go to the urinal maybe once before daybreak, now you are doing 3, you are doing 4. That is a cause for alarm. So you need to be alert. And just do a just simple fasting blood sugar. It wouldn't cost you your leg. Just do it to find out. Now, if they say it's high, then you seek medical advice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Daniel, are there everyday habits, lifestyles that affect our risk of getting diabetes, or anybody's risk of getting diabetes?
Yeah, definitely. I will bring certain things now here. Now, you and I are normal human beings created, and we work in the normal environment. He can eat one bowl of fufu. You can take the same size. I would take the same size. Our body is going to handle it differently because of how my body constitution is. So, depending on what you are doing after taking the meal, depending on what he is doing. If he takes that and within 30 minutes he's to bed, but I take it and go and work or run or do exercise, my body will metabolize it better than him. His is like, okay, you've given me work to do, I've done it. What do you want me to use this energy for? He's sleeping. And energy cannot be destroyed. So the body will convert it and then start hiding it under different parts of your body. Normally the midsection, under your arm and things like that. So remember, you have a high energy that is being stored. Then you keep on adding. At a time, your body will revolt. I have too much of this. How do you take care of me? So that is why the symptoms comes. You are thirsty, you are confused, you can't think clearly. These are all signs, but many people don't realize it. I feel so thirsty easily. I go to the loo often. I mean, what is happening to me? Just go for a simple test, and that will evoke it.
Is our culture or society a predisposing factor for diabetes?
You know what I would say to this? We are doing a catch-up, and so it's affecting us. We are copying the advanced world.
Okay, how?
Yes, gone are the days when you and I want to go out. You just go to the street, buy wache, and then walk home. Now what do we have? We have these fast food joints, plenty. And in one of my studies in the UK, we were looking at fast foods and their impact on the society over there. And he said, the way they prepare their food, they will add more fats and oil, more salt to make it tasty. And then fatty acids you end up creating in your body. All these things are predisposes you to getting diabetes easily, especially if you don't do any physical activity at all, or you do little physical activity.
In your estimation of physical activity, how would you describe?
I wouldn't expect an average of 50, 60, or 45-year-old to be playing football or running. You don't need that. All you need is brisk walking. Walk until you sweat. You can do that early in the morning before bath and coming to work, or just before you head towards bed. Just walk. Walk. Interesting. Our body is made for movement. Every part of our body. And I'll use just a simple thing. You see this finger, this side, this side, this side, this side, this side, this side. So your body was meant for movement. So that's why our forefathers, especially those in the African region, were strong, because they walk to the farm, they eat in the farm, and they walk home. So that is the exercise for the day. Today what we have, from your bedroom to breakfast, from your breakfast to your car to your office, sedentary work. Meanwhile, you are eating the best food. How are you utilizing the food? Very little energy. Meanwhile, you've given yourself a very big energy level food. But you are using the little. You can't destroy energy. You store it. Your body stores it. And then in the storage, it tends then to affect you and give you that imbalance of either your body cannot tolerate glucose or insulin. The insulin that is supposed to help you bring down the sugar level, your body is not able to cope with that. So that is what we're doing to ourselves.
But we call something a pre-diabetic stage.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah, it's just a matter of finding your sugar level. You know, there's a level. I'm just giving figures because people will then drive and write it. Now there's a level. Let's say 2.3 to maybe 5.9. Now, so constantly, if you are just a little above 5.9 or 6.1, hey, be careful. Be careful. You can easily be led to have, to contract the disease. So we said these are people that have not been diagnosed. So we get pre-diabetic. So what can you do so that you don't have a full-blown diabetes? So when you are just around the upper limit, that is where we said.
What is the definition of upper limit?
Upper limit is like I'm giving you a range, say about 2.5 to 5.9. If you are constantly around 5.9 or 6.1 thereabout, you haven't developed it yet.
Okay,
so
that's what the fasting sugar.
Yeah, your fasting blood sugar.
Okay.
Yeah, that's your fasting blood sugar. So if yours is close to that limit, what do we call upper limit, or say 5.9, 6 thereabout. So say be careful because this can lead you easily to diabetes. Yeah.
Now, Daniel, what foods or supplements can people take when either they are pre-diabetic or when they have full-blown diabetes?
All right. First of all, thank you for having me. And regards to the Rivobit family worldwide.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, I would like to commend Prof for the insight given, but then I would like to emphasize on one or two things that he made mention of.
Okay.
He talked about insulin. He made mention of the types of diabetes, the type 1, type 2. In fact, there's even type 3, which is the type 3CA, where the pancreas gets damaged completely. Right, so all these types that he talked about are actually related to one thing, which is the endocrine cells, and specifically the pancreatic beta cells. So before I talk about the pancreatic beta cells, I would like to establish something here. The human body actually are made up of cells. From your head to toe are made up of cells. And from the basic science we all learn at school, science is the basic, the cells are the basic unit of life. So it means that as a human being, you are made up of cells. Right, so everything about you is controlled by the cells. Now, how are the cells being produced? So we have what we call stem cells. And stem cells are actually the mother of all cells. So they are actually naturally in natural body or substance in the human body that actually do not do anything. So they are dormant. However, when there are any malfunction of any cells in your system, it's basically reactivate itself to release a cell to replace that damaged cells.
Okay.
So that is how the stem cell works. So we have different kind of cells in the body: the red blood cell, the white blood cells. Like I mentioned, the pancreatic beta cells. That pancreatic beta cells are actually responsible for the production and release of this hormone insulin, which is responsible to regulate the blood sugar levels in the system.
Okay.
So now, if there is any issue with these pancreatic beta cells, then it means that it will be difficult for this insulin to be released. Now, take note that for type 1 diabetes, it is either there is no production of insulin, or there is little production of insulin. Now, for type 2 diabetes, the insulin is actually produced, but they are not utilized. It becomes insensitive, so the body cannot utilize it. That is the type 2 diabetes. And then the type 3 diabetes, where the pancreas is completely destroyed. So if it is destroyed, then the beta cells are eventually affected. So definitely they are not going to produce any insulin to help regulate the sugar level in the blood. So this is the rationale. Now, we have a product which is called Miracell Plus. It's a stem cell based product, and that is the science behind what I've just described. And so anytime someone has diabetes is not about managing or using medication to control, to reduce the blood sugar levels. No, it goes beyond that. Apart from lifestyle, there are supplements that you can actually take to control or to work on the beta cells. So, like I said, the stem cells are natural in your body. Now, this Miracell Plus that contains the stem cell, in fact, let me be specific. It contains apple stem cell. You and I will agree that if you cut a tree, it grows again. Why does it grow? It means it has stem cell in it, and that stem cell is they are active for life. So research shows that no, we can make use of these stem cell for human. So now if you take the stem cell from the plant, human can actually use it, and once we use it, it's going to help activate the natural stem cell in our body that is probably dormant or not active. They nourish them for them to start working. So naturally, you should understand that the cells in our body every cell has a lifespan. Like we know the red blood cell is about 120 days, right? The white blood cell is about 1 to 3 days. Every cell has a lifespan. So naturally they will die off. But when they die off, they need new ones needs to come to replace it. How would they come? So you need the stem cell to actually help, nourish the existing cells or stem cells in your body to actually produce new cells to replace those that are dormant, those that are damaged, and those that are not active. And that is the rationale behind our product. And our product does not only contain the apple stem cell, they contain other 12 active ingredients, which are powerful antioxidants. And antioxidants, as we know, mop up free radicals in the system. And what are free radicals? Free radicals actually are compounds that affect us. And they actually break down the cells. So the cells are unable to work properly. And so oxidative stress works or comes in, which shut down the system completely. And so with this supplement, it helps support the natural stem cell in you, and that also helps to produce new cells to replace those that are damaged or those that are lost. And that is how your system runs. Now with diabetes, it got to do with the pancreatic beta cell, which I have established. So if you have problem with the pancreatic beta cell, or the pancreatic beta cell is malfunctioning or is not functioning properly, then it means that no matter what anti-diabetic medication you take, your sugar will still remain like that. So as much as we are taking those orthodox medications to regulate or to control the blood sugar, you also need these supplements to work from the basic or from the root cause, which is the cell. So it's actually help nourish it for it to produce new cells to help the beta cells to grow well or to function properly. And in that case, you have complete healing. And that's how it works.
So it means diabetes can be reversed?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
It can.
So there's a perception that it cannot. But like I stated, all your body is made up of cells. And part of the cells is the pancreatic beta cells, which is responsible for the insulin secretion to regulate the insulin. So if the pancreatic beta cell is always active and fresh, then it will continue to release the insulin to regulate the blood sugar. That is what it means. But if you keep taking the medication and the cells are weak, they are not nourished, they are dead, then you are doing more harm than good.
That's right.
So nothing will happen.
For people who live with diabetes or are predisposed to diabetes, what will be your message to them this morning? Let me take your spot and then I'll take the companions.
I mean, picking it from what he's saying, one of the sweetest truth I learned about the human body is that your human body is the biggest drug manufacturing center in the world. Your body is the biggest drug manufacturing center in the whole world.
Okay.
So anything that is wrong with the body knows what to produce to go and take care of it. The reason why we get sick is that we abuse our body to the extent that those cells that are supposed to go and do the repair cannot be released, and therefore you are suffering.
Okay.
So how do we take care of ourselves? It's most important. He talked about stem cell. Right at birth, you have about 100% of stem cell. As you grow, they decrease.
Okay.
At old age, they've gone down. So what do you do to activate them? Eating very well, sleeping very well, reduce stress on your body. If you can't cope with something, put it aside. Seek advice.
Okay.
Don't try to do it all. You are not just Atlas. Learn to say no. There are some people who don't know how to say no. Learn to say it. And take what? Adequate rest.
Absolutely. Take adequate rest. I think this morning, Prof is speaking to me. Daniel, your final words, especially to persons with diabetes or who are predisposed to diabetes.
Right. So I would like to emphasize on lifestyle.
Okay.
The word is lifestyle, lifestyle, lifestyle.
Lifestyle modification.
And I'm sorry, and it saddens me to hear that you lost some loved ones to that particular disease. So we take things for granted a lot.
Sure.
And one of the lifestyles I would like to emphasize on for the youth of today, alcohol, drink, smoking. Smoking produces nicotine. Then nicotine can actually, constrict the blood vessels.
Okay.
And when that happens, it triggers the cortisol hormone, or the hormone cortisol. That is a stress hormone, and which can actually affect your blood sugar level. And so don't think you are smoking for fun. No, it's going to have effect on you. In fact, it also destroys the pancreatic beta cells, and that is why we have that type 3 now. And so they should be careful of that. And then in terms of eating late, Prof mentioned, we copy from the Western and all that. Junk foods and all that is not helping us today. We eat anytime we want, and that is a red flag for us. And so we should check what we eat as well. As much as we eat late, we should check what we eat as well. And people think you can wake up in the morning and you're active. See, Prof mentioned that whatever you eat is supposed to be converted. And whatever is, they are converted into triglycerides, which are stored. And that is why when you wake up in the morning without food, you are able to fast.
Okay.
So imagine eating late, and the next morning you have added more to it. What is happening to your system? So you are gradually shutting down your system. And let me emphasize that for pre-diabetes, you may not even have signs at all. That is why it's silent.
Okay.
You may not see the signs coming. By the time you see the signs coming, you are at in fact, the cells are already damaged. And you'll be facing complications. And the complications could be what? Vision impairment, kidney damage, and Prof mentioned that they are related. They are metabolic diseases. So we should be mindful, the youth especially, and our lifestyle is one thing we should look out for. And he mentioned that walking to sweat, we should practice it. Today, we sit in the comfort of our homes and then we order food and then they deliver to us. We no more do walking. And that is another factor affecting us.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
You're
I'm sure
welcome.
that this is a conversation that I am particularly interested in, so we need to revisit it. That's Daniel Ado. He's a pharmacist with Rivobit International, and Professor Michael N.K. Clotte. He's a lecturer, University of Health and Allied Sciences in Ho, and also Family Health Medical School, Teshi. This has been a conversation on diabetes. My name is Lily Mohammed. For those of you who have diabetes, who have stroke, who have spine, liver, and kidney problems, at Roman Ridge Traditional Chinese Clinic, they provide treatment and management of these conditions. They are located opposite the Indian High Commission at Roman Ridge in Accra. You can call them 0546450672 or 0556121863. 0546450672 or 0556 121 863. They work from Monday to Friday between the hours of 8 to 5 p.m. And then on Saturday and Sunday, they are open as well, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Now, let me bring you a little bit of good news on the biggest culinary explosion that will happen in December. That's December 13 at the Guard Park at the Accra Mall. It's an Asanka affair presented by Oseko Medianepa in partnership with the EIB network. This is not just food, it's a cultural movement. Tickets are selling fast, so make sure you purchase yours. You can purchase yours at www.eduanepa.com, www.eduanepa.com, or you can simply dial star 714 star 703 hash, star 714 star 703 hash. On all networks, tell a friend to tell another friend that it is fufu on a pack. I want to see you there. I'm back shortly. I take you to church. What is the evidence of your gratitude?
You want to share about this? I feel like in life, God always gives a promise or a prophecy. He's subjected to process, then bring us to an object of possession.
Sure.
The possession is the reason for the promise. But there cannot be the possession without the process. And sometimes it's hard process that produces fine product. And I could tell you emphatically that we've been through a lot for the past 8 years, but we've seen and experienced God's amazing goodness. We've experienced God's provision, God's protection, and the evidence we have is our faith in God. That we've grown more than where we were, and then where we are now, we could say that we are very deep in the things of God. You know, Hebrews 11 says that faith is a substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. By it the elders obtained a good report. For without faith it's impossible to please God. And he that cometh to God should believe that he is, and is a rewarder unto them that diligently seek him. That means that faith is seeing the unseen before the unseen is seen. Is seeing the picture of your future before you venture to capture. And so you don't have to confess where you are. You have to confess where you are going to or where you want to be. And so the evidence is that God has been good. The evidence is that God kept us. The evidence is that we are alive. The evidence is that we've grown spiritually, we've grown numerically, we've grown in branches, and we've grown in the goodness of the Lord. The evidence is that we've been through a lot, but we don't look like what we've been through. So that is the evidence. The major evidence is our faith in Christ Jesus. And
How many branches do you have now?
So right now we have about 10 functional branches.
Wow. Yeah. Where?
So we have some in Takoradi, we have some in Kumasi, we have some in Dowenya, Ashama, Pram. We have some in Tema itself. We have some in Accra, you know, and other places.
Okay, that's good to know. You have, I mean, we keep talking about the evidence. I'm sure people are wondering, what is this evidence? You have a program. You've named it, or you've themed it, The Evidence. What is it? Why did you choose The Evidence, especially as you mark your 80th anniversary? It started on Monday, isn't it?
Yes. Okay, so there was a story in the Bible by Hannah and Peninnah. And a lady called Hannah Peninnah and a man called Elkanah, who is from Raphazophim. Strangely, this man got married to Peninnah and loved her, but then loved Hannah more. And Peninnah was giving birth to children. I mean, everywhere, children. And Hannah had no child. So by evidence, everybody will say that he spent more time with Peninnah. But it was not so. He was spending more time with Hannah. But there was no productivity.
There was no evidence.
There was no evidence. So 2 things I want to say quickly about it. One source, different results. The result is not based just on the source. It's also based on timing.
Sure.
Because sometimes it doesn't take time. Sometimes it takes only God. It doesn't take time. It takes God. And when God steps into the scene, everything changes. Like when he stepped into the scene of Hannah whilst he was praying in Shiloh, and God came in through his servant Eli. And Eli said, "Why are you drunk?" And he said, "Master, I am not drunk, prophet. I'm pouring my heart before the Lord." And he said, "I don't know what you are pouring your heart for, but a year by this time, there shall be a cry of a baby in your home." That is when Hannah became pregnant and gave birth to Samuel. When Samuel was born, the name Samuel was heard. And we have 1 Samuel, which is a part of a Bible book. We have 2 Samuel, which is part of a Bible book. Then you ask yourself, what is the name of Peninnah's children? Which one of them has a book? Delayed, but result-oriented. Delayed, but impactful. Delayed, but resourceful. Delayed, but resourceful. So sometimes things might not come in your time. But when God steps into your time, you recoup everything you've ever lost in your life. And you become an evidence of God's goodness. You just get married and you give birth to triplets, another two twins. Everybody will say, oh my God, this lady there, Charlie, Jehovah sharp. This, have. But then 5 years, 10 years, no child. You become a concern to people. Then suddenly you are pregnant. Suddenly you give birth. That child become an evidence of God's intervention in your life. That child is a proof of what God has done. That child is your testimony. That child is your evidence. And so maybe you have gone through some delays in your life, derailment in your life, disappointment in your life. You've been disgruntled and distorted by the event of life and time. I want to come and try this Jesus, who is able to step into time and turn things around and give you evidence so much that you will not look like your scar because of the nature of star you become in the process of God's intervention. So everybody, everybody can have an evidence. Okay. For example, sweetheart, these are the things. If you have not been blind before, you will never be excited waking up one day to see. If you have not been deaf before, you will not have the joy of hearing.
True.
If you have not been dumb before, you might think it is easy to speak. In fact, if you've not been stricken with some sickness you cannot walk before, you will not have the joy of walking. And that's why when some people have stroke or are paralyzed and they get out of wheelchair because we prayed for them, and then people begin to scream. They scream because it's a privilege to now walk by somebody else. Now, I want everybody to know that whatever you've been through in life or you've gone through in life, there is a God that can bring you evidence. And sometimes God will refurbish you and bring you back into a place in your life where you forget all your pain, all your struggle, all the disappointment, all the people that came as angels, but they now left you, left as devils in your life. But there is a God who is unchanging, but have the record of changing things. Okay. The God who was not created, but has the record of creating things. The God whom till today we don't even know where he came from. We don't know his beginning, we don't know his end, but began everything and ends almost everything. Okay. If somebody is hearing my voice, I want them to know that this God is so real enough to give you evidence. And that's why we wanted to be in this program this week. Okay. So you started on Monday. Yeah. What are the times that so it's Monday through till this Sunday? Yeah, Monday to Sunday. Okay. So it's, so today is Wednesday. We are having Bishop Edu Jemfi. Okay. The Monday and the Tuesday, we had my dear friend, Dr. Shadrach Ofosuwari from the UK that flew in for this meeting. He will be leaving tomorrow. Okay. And my dear brother and friend also, Bishop Dr. Edu Jemfi, CCC, one of the biggest church in Fadama. They meet almost like 5,000 seated. Very anointed man of God who is very deep in the healing ministry, teaching ministry, and the power ministry. It's going to be great. So he is doing today and tomorrow. Okay. And then Friday I'll be ministering myself. And Saturday I'll be doing ordination by 9:30 a.m. And then Sunday we start service by 8 a.m. It's going to be an irrecoverable experience. Divinity cannot visit humanity, and humanity will not experience possibilities. Okay, so what will be happening? Is it just, since it's anniversary, will it just be praises and worship? What will the services be like? It's going to be, when it comes to anniversary, you have to recognize the adversaries you have been able to overcome before in your life. So one of the things is introspection and perspective. But the real move of God tonight is to come. You will see praise and worship. You will dance. You will worship. You will hear God's word. You'll be prayed for. You'll be inspired. You'll be encouraged. And you will go deeper in God and the things of God. It be cry away. Maybe you are sick. Maybe you are down. Maybe some promotion you are believing God for. You know, when you read the Bible, it's so beautiful. The Bible says promotion does not come from the east nor west, the south. You know, but God is a judge. He brings someone down and lift up another. Yeah. It means that some people are sitting on the seat of other people. That God has to bring some people down and lift some people. But you have to be available so that the crown will be on your head. Yes, see about the show here. Where will we put the crown? You must be available so that we can put the crown on your head. And I'm praying that people, everybody listen to me in this Accra, even if you are in Kumasi, everywhere, you know, who have been following me on GHOne over the years, preaching here for the past 3 years. I want you to just come and experience the move of God in your life that will leave you.
Will it be a hybrid system where people can watch online?
Okay, sure, yeah, they can watch me on Apostle Emmanuel Linkum on Facebook and the Radiant Place there. Radiant Place also on Facebook and YouTube also live. It's going to be awesome. I mean, if you were to be there on Monday and Tuesday, I wouldn't be sitting here to tell you that you should come.
I know.
And you would not be telling me that you are... I will see you yourself, and it's going to be an experience.
I definitely want to have an evidence of the goodness of the Lord. God, I definitely want it. And congratulations on your 8th anniversary.
Thank you so much.
I'm sure.
I think I needed to, we need to find a way to see if we can get the people to the particular place where the event is going to take place.
Absolutely.
If they are coming.
Are you busing them?
Yeah, we are busing them.
Okay, where will these buses be
okay, so the buses will be at Kaswa, Tema, and Amasaman area.
Okay.
And then it will just be coming.
Okay.
So
do they have contacts that they can call?
Of course. So the event itself takes place at Apenkwa Total Filling Station, opposite the Tessa No Papaye. So if you enter inside the fueling station, it's just at the top, the whole of the top there. You know, when you enter there, you will never know that is where you are. I want you to just come.
Please give them the venue again. So
the venue is at Apenkwa Total Filling Station.
Okay.
Opposite the Tessa No Papaye.
Okay.
So when you just cross the street, that is where the church is. It's just inside the filling station at the top there.
Okay.
I don't know who you are and where you are watching me from, but I want you to come and experience the presence of God, the power of God, and go deeper in knowing this Jesus who has the ability and the responsibility to turn your life around. You can call if you want to be bussed on 0246 32 89 84. 0246 32 89 84. Maybe you miss it again. It's 0246 32 89 84. You can call anywhere you are. If our bus will not reach you, we'll let you come and we'll take care of it. Absolutely. So that you will be blessed. You coming is more important to us than anything else.
So that at the end of this program, you definitely have an evidence. That's Apostle Emmanuel Linkum. He's founder and senior pastor of the Radiant Place. He told you they're located at Apenkwa, opposite to the Tesano Papaye. So let's all be there. Let's have glorious moments. Let's come and experience the presence and goodness of the Lord. I am back shortly after this. Be there. GHOne TV, and this morning, earlier in the day, we took you to court. Now let's talk about the law itself. And I've been joined this morning by Bright Achufuglu and Anaya Sewa Ajimang. They are students of the Zenith University College Faculty of Law. Good morning, lady and gentlemen.
Good morning. Good morning.
How are we doing?
You're fine. By the grace of God, we are doing well.
Okay. Let's talk about legal education today in Ghana. In the last couple of months, there were a lot of talks about, now Ghana is producing a lot of lawyers. And then interestingly, on Monday, we heard from the Chief Justice nominee that we do not even have enough of the lawyers that you're talking about because the threshold is 1 is to 250. But unfortunately, we're doing more than that number. Let's look at legal education today in Ghana. What are your thoughts, considering how difficult it is? Many say it is to even enter Makola, for instance.
Legal law in Ghana is actually not an easy task for an ordinary person. You need to be determined, confident, and have retentive memory, actually. So entering Makola is for those who are determined to be called the Esquire, as we put it. So knowing what the Constitution is about, knowing the laws that governs the country as well as international laws as well, and being determined that that's what you actually want to do in order to enter Makola and pass the bar exams as well.
Okay, you're a student of the Zenith University College Faculty of Law.
That's right.
How's the faculty like, and why should anybody choose that faculty?
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
The Faculty of Law at the Zenith University College is one that stands out among the lot we have in the country at the moment.
Is it?
Yes, sincerely.
Okay.
Because basically our class sizes are small.
Okay.
As a result, a lot of attention is given to the students by the lecturers. We have a well-stocked modern library, which to a large extent enables students to have access to the various materials that are needed to support our studies. And the school environment itself is conducive. The location right behind the Trade Fair Center in Accra, you can have access to the campus any time of the day once you want to be there. The structure of the course itself, we have weekends and we have evenings, so it's quite flexible. And I can assure you that Zenith is one of the best that you can look out for when you are interested in actually studying law.
Okay. You have a program coming up.
Yes, please.
What is this program?
Is an educational tour to intellectual property institutions in Ghana, like the Copyright Office, GAMRO, then the Office of the Registrar of Companies. So it's basically going beyond the classrooms. So we have been taught the theory aspects, how copyright is being protected by the works, the creative ideas of individual innovators in Ghana. So after we have learned the theory aspect in class, we want to know the practical aspect. So you might know the books, but you might not know the groundwork. So that's basically what the educational tour is about.
When is this tour starting?
On 14th November, that this coming Friday.
This coming Friday. Is it something just for the Faculty of Law students?
Yes. At the moment, it's for those of us within the Faculty of Law at the moment.
But how important is this for you, studying law?
Yeah, it is. I would say it is very fundamental to our studies because, like my sister earlier said, it is one thing knowing the statutes, knowing the provisions of law, and it's another thing knowing how it is actually applied. These various institutions that we are talking about over here are more or less the regulatory bodies, and they are clothed with the powers to implement the various laws and statutes that are supposed to protect the rights of individuals who fall within the domain of intellectual property. So we sincerely believe that by visiting these institutions, it will give us a first-hand information for us to actually see and then look at the gaps that may exist between the law and its implementation.
What are some of the challenges with enforcement of copyright laws?
Public awareness. Yeah, because basically most of us, when we listen to copyright, we are looking at infringement, and it's mostly connected to the books, like copying someone's work and not referencing the person. But if you look at the other aspect, music, people writing dramas. They are all under these aspects, and mostly we don't know. Piracy is also another problem of enforcing these rights, these property law rights of various innovators.
And just to add a little bit to that, you realize that enacting a law to protect a right is good, but it is not sufficient. Because those whose rights are supposed to be protected must know in the first place, so that when those rights are being abused, they can take steps to seek remedy. So if there is no awareness on all the beautiful laws that we have that protects individuals within the industry, then the laws will just be lying there. They will be inactive. So public awareness, like she said, is very low in our system. So a lot needs to be done to ensure that people whose rights are protected under these laws knows what the provisions are, knows what their rights are to be protected, and knows the remedies, the opportunities that are available for them to seek remedies when these rights are being abused.
All right. For anybody who wants to study law out there, what would you tell them? I mean, preparation towards it.
Be ready for it. It's not an easy
Can you say
thing.
be ready? What do you mean?
Your mind, emotions, body. When you enter into it, you realize that your social life is being cut off because certain things that you used to do when you were not in that institution, you realize that you'll be drawing off it. You need to be ready for it. Know what you are into it. Know that this is what you want to do. If you don't have retentive memory, just practice it. Because there are so many judicial precedents that you actually need for it. So these are the things that I'll tell that person. If you are not focused, determined, just walk away.
Interesting. If you are not focused, just walk away. Bright, 2 final words.
Yeah, basically, I would actually want to, first of all, thank this institution for this opportunity that has been given for us to be here this morning to also express our views. And then additionally, the various regulatory bodies that have opened their doors to us, the GHOne, the Copyright Office, and the Office of the Registrar of Companies, the opportunity that they have availed to us to be able to come and learn about the practical aspects of the implementation of the law. It is not common. We are very, very grateful. And then finally, I also want to encourage all those out there, even though my sister has mentioned that it is difficult, it is not impossible. Yes, like the Chief Justice said, we need a lot more. That is why we are aspiring to go. And we also encourage our brothers and sisters out there, regardless of what the challenges may be, with determination. If others have been able to make it, we can equally make it.
All right, thank you very much. That's Vita Chifuglu. And then Nanaya Sewa Ajiman. They are students of the Zenith University College Faculty of Law. When I come back from this breather, we'll talk about public relations. Stay with me.